What's up, everybody? And this video we're going to be talking about how to choose your main. So we're going to look at class choice as objectively as possible, but you have to remember that this is still my process in choosing a main, so keep that in mind. This guide can help you in any MMO and probably any RPG that you're playing or looking into playing, but you got to remember that it's made mostly with WoW in mind. I do play other MMOs, and this is the process I would use in other MMOs, but I did create this process by playing WoW. But let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing we want to look at is, do you like the gameplay or the fantasy? So you might like, if you play WoW, you might love a druid, like a feral druid, because I don't know, you like building the builder spender combo point system that they have there, and the stacking of all your dots, and trying to just build and spend with that. That's pretty fun. I do like feral druid. However, for me, I don't particularly like guardian, and I don't hate balance right now as with the pre-patch, but it's not my favorite. It's kind of boring. So that is probably the most important thing for me, but for some people it might not be. So, but this is a very important point of how you will choose your main, I think. So usually you want to play the class a little bit just to feel what the rotation is like. So to do that, you're going to want to identify what parts of the game you like the most. So some people like PvP, some people like PvE, and even in PvE there's sub like different type of gameplay within just PvE. So like Mythic Plus, you could do raiding. Even within raiding there's differences too. But usually you want to test it out in whatever content you love doing, if it's accessible for you, and then that will inform you whether or not you really like the gameplay or not. So yeah, just make sure that the spell priority and rotation are just fun, and don't forget to think about things like mobility and defensive ability. And not only that, within your class, you have specializations, at least in WoW. You can be a tank, you can be a healer, you can be a ranged or melee DPS. So all of these things, if you want to be a versatile player, so there are classes that are accessible for that. But if you want to just DPS single-mindedly, there are also classes just for that. And depending on what type of content you do, for me, I do mythic raiding, so I'm expected to switch to healer if I'm needed to, or maybe tank if I really am needed to, if my class has that available. So yeah, just based on what kind of content you're doing, make sure that the class is actually fun. Okay, and this next one, I don't know if it's not. It's a little bit more niche. So, do you like the fantasy or idea of the class? You want to think about, like, I love the way druids are. I don't love their gameplay, but for instance, the changing into an animal, that's super cool to me. I love that. I love the fantasy for that. But for me, it's not that important what I like about the fantasy. I mean, I do think about that, but it's like a very small thing for me. But some people, it's very important to love the fantasy, like our peers and things like that. But I don't particularly love the paladin fantasy. It's cool, but I mean, I'm more edgy, and I like nature too, and naked foxes as well. But yeah, if you don't like the fantasy, if that's something that's important for you, probably shouldn't choose that class. You got to remember that when you're choosing this, it's for your fun for the most part. There are certain types of play that restrict how much fun you will have, but generally, if you're doing those kinds of like high level playing, then you're probably not going to be watching this video, and you probably don't have the problems of how to choose a main. All right. So again, I'm going to bring up what aspects of the game do you want to do? Do you like raiding? Do you like PvP? Or do you just like mount farming or transmog farming? Because these are all viable ways to play the game, or any game pretty much. Probably not any game, but for WoW, these are like the big ones. Do you like Mythic Plus? So even with the PvP, you could be doing battlegrounds, you could be doing arenas, and I don't know who does this. It's kind of a meme, but if you could be doing open world PvP, I guess. I don't know though, but yeah, each one of these things are going to affect how fun your class is going to be, and not only how fun your class is going to be, but how effective it is at what it does. So even if you love the gameplay of a certain class, so for instance, if I love the gameplay of Paladin, but it turns out that Paladin is just trash for everything, like, I'm probably going to have to drop it, you know. Now, if I have, if I really love it, I might still play it, but I'm probably not going to be able to bring it to any raids. So it wouldn't be a main, right? But say you're a farmer, like you just do farming for mounts, you do farming for transmog, you know, it could be totally fine if you have something that's like a little bit weaker. It doesn't really matter if you're doing that, as long as you like as long as you think it's fun. In that case, but there is discrepancies between PvE and PvP, and they're pretty big. Even between Mythic Plus and raiding, there's huge discrepancies. So, for instance, like if you look at right now, if we go to Warcraft logs, and this is a very important tool if you're playing Warcraft. So let's just say that in Warcraft logs, let's go here. Give me one moment. If you are playing Warcraft if you're playing WoW, or wrong one, shit. Okay, let's put this down. Let me fix this shit. Alright, there we go. So, let's bring Warcraft logs over here. This is really important, to be honest. Okay, if you're playing WoW, or probably most other MMOs probably have something like this. Like I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy has not like this, but I know they have things that rank guilds and things like that. But yeah, let's go down here into Nyalotha. So since it's been pre-patched for about it's been like 2 weeks or something like that, some shit. We can look at, let's bring up the DPS, which classes are doing well right now. So we can see that Feral Druid is doing pretty badly in raiding. However, if we go, I mean, it's still probably doing pretty badly, but if we go to Mythic Plus, oh, it's middle of the pack. It's not even doing badly. I thought it was, but yeah. So you have discrepancies between the gameplay systems that you want to be working with. And if you like Mythic Plus more than raiding, don't worry about how well they're doing in raiding. Worry about how well it's doing in Mythic Plus. If it's good in PvP, I'm not that familiar with PvP anymore, but if it's doing well in PvP, then choose that if you play PvP, you know? So, yeah, use these tools, these external tools, to be able to help you realize which things are strong and which parts are not. You want to know the state of the class before you choose it, especially if it's something that's important, if you're a high-level play. But, yeah. And always, if you are in high-level play, you have to think about the people that you're playing with, because it might be that these people don't want you to play a certain class. And maybe, depending on your circumstances, you might not want to play with people like that. However, if you're playing in Mythic Plus, there are certain classes that are probably going to be less than wanted, you know? Like, people are not really going to want Feral Druids if they continue to play like this. They don't have utility in this. Well, they do have utility, but the fact is, Boomies bring the same utility, or any of the other Druid specs, and we're probably going to have Resto Druids, even if they're not doing that great. There probably will be, because a healer is more needed right now than DPS. So, if you have people that you're playing with, make sure that you talk with them before you choose your class. And not only that, when you talk to these people, you're going to be able to get the opinions that you might want to hear before you choose anyways. So always remember to like talk to the people that you're playing with and make sure that it's fine. Yeah. So all in all, I believe that this guide can actually help anybody who's starting an MMO, or if you are starting a new expansion in an MMO, it will be helpful as well. There are a few things that I probably missed here, but just remember, even if it's something stupid as like, let's look at these classes, okay? You love Nightborn, but you can't play a Shaman on a Nightborn. And you hate Torn, or High Mountain Torn, or whatever. Torn, High Mountain Torn, whatever. That's your choice. It's your game. It's fun to do. It's okay to do that. If you really love Shaman, but you hate the classes that, or the races that have Shaman available, then, you know, it's okay to make a choice based on that. As long as you can find a class that you like. I mean, in WoW, there's quite a few classes, right? It's 13 classes, I believe. In WoW, you know, there's quite a few choices, you know. You could probably find a class that fits in that race, you know. The racials are not that important these days. Unless you're like top tippity, you know. But anything that makes it more fun for you is totally fine, you know. So, with that, I want to bring us to the end of this video, okay? So remember to get on my Discord, go on to my Twitter, follow me on Twitter, go into my Discord, you know, go to my Twitch channel. I'm supposed to be streaming a lot, but I've been taking a break for pre-patch. But yeah, go ahead, and if you have any questions, put it down there in the comments section. Hit me with a like if you liked it, dislike it if you really didn't like it. And hit me with a subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.